but we will see. All right, hey, come on, let's get our practice tests out, guys. I know you're all happy to see each other, but we have got to get busy. All right, so here we go. Number 6, practice test 1. Number 6. What are the dimensions of this matrix? 2 by 4. And when we write that, we write 2x4. 2 by 4. If A is this, what is A sub 2, 1? A sub 2, 1. 5, second row, first column. In the expression 2a, where A is a matrix, 2 is called a, whoa, what's it called? Scalar, S-C-A-L-A-R. The very first day we started this chapter, we did a vocab section. I would suggest you go back and look at it, because what does the test look like?
The practice test.
That would be stupid in this vocab, right? All right, what is a square matrix? A matrix that has the same number of rows as columns. So it's like a 2 by 2 or a 5 by 5. That's the same number of rows as columns. What is a matrix? Well, I already told you, and I already wrote it on the board, so you can look that up in your notes, okay? It's a rectangular array of numbers arranged in rows and columns. Move it on. Number 5, or F. What is an entry or an element? Those are the numbers inside the matrix, all right? So we're gonna have 2 more of these vocab sections. Kids, I'm not gonna tell you the answers. You go back and look them up, all right? These are vocabulary words. All right, number 7. All right, now we're making hot dogs and hamburgers. So we have this one has a fixed interval in it, so we have to be on the lookout for that. Remember, what a fixed interval looks like is x is going to be between 2 numbers and y is going to be between 2 numbers. That's what it means to be a fixed interval. It means you've locked x in here and you've locked y in here. So you have a box. All right, so a snack bar cooks and sells, okay. It must sell at least 10 hamburgers, but not more than 40. Right, here's your interval. What is x? In between 10 and 40. So x is in between 10 and 40. X is a number of hamburgers, and that's between 10 and 40. It must also sell at least 30 hot dogs, but not more than 70. So what do you know about your hot dogs? They're between 30 and 70. That's your fixed interval. It can't cook more than 90 sandwiches altogether. What is that? The total number of sandwiches you can make. So right here, the total number. Profit on a hamburger is 33 and on a hot dog is 21. How many, what number of hamburgers and what number of hot dogs should you make? Right? So what are my constraints? What am I going to end up graphing? Well, remember, fixed intervals are always graphed. So you might as well just write those down right now. Fixed intervals are always graphed. Remember that one we did that had a fixed interval? You got your bar this way and your bar this way, and that makes a box. The answer's in that box somewhere. What else am I going to sketch? X plus y is less than or equal to 90. because you can't make more than 90. Now, if you want to go ahead and include these, it's okay. Not necessary, because you've already told me X is bigger than 10. So clearly, if it's bigger than 10, it's bigger than 0. So I don't need those this time, but it's okay if you just want to include them. Now, what am I trying to do in this problem? Am I finding a maximum or a minimum? A maximum. And what is it that I am trying to find the maximum of? I'm not trying to find the maximum number of sandwiches, I'm trying to find the maximum profit. And that will be calculated 0.33x plus 0.21y. Read the problem carefully. Doesn't it say make a maximum profit? Right there in the problem, it says that. Okay, now we're gonna sketch them. Looking at these numbers, I think a scale of 10 is probably best. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
10? All right, so I'm gonna graph, in my bright green, I'm gonna graph this guy. Supposed to be bright green. All right? Now, that's one letter, is X. So I'm gonna go to my 10 hash mark. Here's my 10 hash mark, and I'm going to extend it. And then 20, 30, 40 hash mark, and I'm going to extend it. When you made that hash mark, it was up and down. Just extend that up and down. And where is that green shaded? In the middle. In between 10 and 40. So this is shaded right here. That's shaded. Now with my orange marker, I'm going to do this one. Now that's a Y. So I'm going to count up my Y-axis to 30. See how these hash marks go this way? So when I extend it, it goes that way. 40, so it's 30. 40, 50, 60, 70. Now where is the orange shaded? In between? So now I'm in between my greens and in between my oranges. So aren't I right here? This is where I am so far. All right. Now with my pink marker, I'm going to sketch this one. So I'm going to count out to 90. 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 6, 7, 8, 9. And up to 90. And then I am going to connect. This is so hard for me. I'm going to connect those two lines. Close. And where is that shaded? Under. So remember, you're inside the box and under the pink. So inside the box and under the pink, would that make this shape right here? Inside the box and under the pink. All right, what are all those points? Well, this time, none of them are like on an axis, but some of them are still super simple. What do we know about this point right here? It's green and orange. So what do we know about it? is 10 and 70. Because if you're on this green line, this one right here is 10 comma something, so is this one. It's on that green line, so X is 10. So this one was 70, this one will be 30. This one is on this green line and that orange line. So what's this one? 40, 30. Now look, isn't this point also on this green line? So its X is also 40, but it's on the pink line. And what do we know about the pink line? When we add them up, we get 90. So if that's 40, this has got to be 50. And then look here. What do we know about this point? Y is 70, right? And so X is on the pink now, so X has to be 20. Right? Now what? One of those is going to be our answer. So what do? Plug each X and Y into that right there. Okay? So let's do it. I'll start at the bottom and work my way out. Anybody got the first one yet? What's 1070? 18 even? And how about 1030? 9? 9.6. Right, and then I did those. All right, so what's our objective? Let's not lose sight of our objective. What are we trying to do? Maximize profit. So that means we're looking for the biggest profit. So it looks like the biggest profit's right here. So what are we going to tell the guy to do? He should make 40 hamburgers and 50 hot dogs for a profit of $23.70. Boy, that's a lot of food and not much profit. A lot of work. Remember on test day, this big problem with a lot of points, but each thing is with points. So if you fill in numbers in the chart, even if you don't know what to do with them, if you put numbers in the chart, that's points. If you can write your profit statement, that's points. You can write these, points. Points for everything, so you want to do whatever you can do. Are we good here? All right, last problem on the test will be your calculator problem. So this test will be no calculator. You will have a baby, of course, but no big calculator until this very last problem. And for this problem, in order to get credit, some of you didn't do this on the quiz, what has to be written down? Well, yeah, more than that, you have to have the original matrix that you're putting into the calculator, the new matrix that's coming out of the calculator, telling me which button you push to make that happen, and then what is your answer. Now this one has 4 variables, so I will need a P, Q, R, and S answer. All right, So, remember, if something is missing, we put a 0. So my first equation, 1, -2, 3, -5, -34. How about my second equation? What's it gonna look like? 2, 1, 0, -4, -16. How about my third one? 0, 1, -1, -1, 1, and 0, 2, 3, 0, -5. All right, so we go to second matrix, edit. What are the dimensions of this guy? He's a 4 by 5. Oh, looks like I rigged another one. Remember, sometimes I rig them, sometimes I don't. But it's easy. Even if I don't rig it and it comes out yucky, what do we do? What do we do if it comes out yucky?
Turn it in fractions.
Math frac. Yep, we just math frac it, turn it into fractions. You don't need to do this, it's not great. This is what happens when I don't have anything else to do. I sit around and make this stuff happen. Remember, this should be easy points, but you're not going to get them if you don't show this work. So what are you putting in? What's coming out? How did you get there? And what is the answer? All right, practice test 1, done. Moving on to 2. Make sure that you are following directions. All right, make sure you're following directions. Okay, here we go. Directions. This one's substitution. So what are we going to do if we have to solve this system with substitution? Get a variable by itself. And looking at our selection, I would say that one. So y equals 5 minus 2x. Then we'll take that 5 minus 2x and plug it in for the y. So 3x minus 2 times 5 minus 2x equals -3. So in my top equation, I got y by itself by moving the 2x over. And then I'm going to take that, what y equals, and plug it in for y. So now I'll do my distributive stuff carefully. And I got x equal to 1. Then, because my like this. If I got 1, I'll come back and plug that in, that's an X value. So it looks like Y is 3. Plug it in wherever you want, doesn't matter, plug in X is 1 somewhere. And I got Y equals 3. Okay? Alright, elimination. Yep, elimination. So what do you think? You got options here, or what seems bottom by -3 seems good. So 2x plus 3y equals -4, and 15x minus 3y equals -30. So that's what you get it for. So 17x equals -34, and x equals -2. So again, your answer has to look like this. So we'll go back somewhere, anywhere, it doesn't matter where you go. You're gonna plug in -2, I'm just gonna put it at the top, I'm gonna put in -2. So -4 plus 3y equals -4. Now guys, if you add 4 to both sides, isn't it gonna say 3y equals 0? That doesn't mean there's no answer. That means that y equals 0, which is perfectly okay. It's only no answer if you get something that looks like 17 equals 12. That's no answer. But y can equal 0. Alright, one more, Kramer's rule. Alright, now, if you missed this on the quiz, I want you paying real close attention. Because if you missed it, you're doing something strange. And we gotta stop it. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna make a determinant, we're gonna label them, x and y. My x numbers are 3 and -2, and my y numbers are 1 and -5. Notice I include any negative. Okay? Now, I'm going to evaluate that. -15 minus -2. I got -13. -15 minus -2. So my answer is something over -13 for x and y both, fractions. Alright, now here's the part where I need you to watch. If you missed it, I need you to watch it. If you know what you're doing, go ahead. To find x, that is this number right here, this is x. To find x, I take these numbers and paste them on top of x. So I am physically cutting this out and pasting it here. So what does that look like? 7, 1, 1, -5. Nothing is switching. You are cutting and pasting. And then when you do y, it's the same thing, only you're cutting and pasting here. Nothing is moving. The 3 and the -2 are staying right there, and this is becoming the 7 and the 1.
When is it that we switch?
That's if you're finding an inverse, that's a totally different problem.
Okay.
Yeah, totally different problem. All right, now here we go. -35 minus 1. -36. 3 minus -14, 17. Now, if you ever have a negative over a negative, you need to cancel those out. If your fraction reduces, these do not, but if they did, you would reduce them. If you miss the question on the quiz that I returned. Did you figure out what you did wrong? So you don't do it again? Apparently she did. Okay. All right, and next page, number 4. These are our matrix operations. Some of these will not have an answer. Because it isn't always possible to do what we are asked to do. All right, here we go. Matrix A. And we are finding A inverse. This is what you were talking about. To find A inverse, we have to do 2 things. What is the first thing we have to do? Find the determinant. So -4 minus 6. I got -10. What is the second thing we have to do? We have to build a new matrix. And the new matrix is made by doing what Sammy said, taking these guys right here, these 2 right here, and switching them. So -4 comes up here, 1 comes down here. He's positive, so it becomes negative. She's positive, so she becomes negative. And then what? We'll have our answer as soon as we do what? All of these have to be divided by the -10 and then simplify. So this is going to become +2/5, +1/5, +3/10, and -1/10. Okay? That's your answer right there. That's your answer. That's your answer. All right, got it? Okay, that is not hard. There's one way you're gonna miss it. You're not gonna study. Make sure you study and practice. Okay, 2C. What does that mean? 2C. Everything in C by 2. There you go. That's all there is to it. Back in the old days, there was something called a dunce cap that kids had to wear back in the old times. That means you're not being a very good student, so you had to sit in the corner with the dunce cap on. That was before me even. I mean, that was like back in pioneer days, you had the dunce cap. If you miss this problem, you need the dunce cap, right? Because that one is an easy one. All right, A times C. Before I write it out, can I multiply A times C? What are the dimensions of A? 2 by 2. What are the dimensions of C? 2 by 3. I can do it. So I am going to multiply A times C. And my answer will be another 2 by 3. Right? Now, you need to write down whatever you need to write down. I would suggest that you write down everything. So, if I want to find that number right there, I am going to multiply first row times first column. So here is my first row. Here is my first column. So what is that first number going to be? -1. Now I'm gonna go to first row, second column. So here's my first row. Here's my second column. So it looks like that number is going to be 4. Now you finish the rest. Okay. You finish the rest for me. Now I've got answers up here, but I did it in my head. Who knows if they're right? So I need your confirmation. Match? If we don't match on something, let's talk about it. Does anybody not match? Luke's giving me a thumbs up. We don't match, Macy? Okay, I thought somebody said no. Remember the old Zoom days when you could do the little yellow thumbs up? So I would sit there on my dumb little computer screen waiting for all the thumbs to come up. Just FYI, if we ever go back to Zoom again, I'm retiring. So, just FYI, not doing it again. Okay? All right, everybody good on that? All right, problem B, A plus B. I see Daisy up here shaking her head no. A plus B isn't possible because if you're gonna add them, they have to have the same dimensions. You can't add a 2 by 2 and a 3 by 3. It just won't work. How about B times D? No, Kate's shaking her head no. The dimensions of B, 3 by 3, the dimensions of B, 2 by 2, these don't match, can't do it. How about 2D minus A? Is that doable? Kids, 2D minus A, doable? Yes, because what are the dimensions of 2D? 2D is 2 by 2. What are the dimensions of A? There you go. So 2D would be -4, 2, 6, 12. 2 times D minus A.
No.
So we multiply 2 times D and subtract A. So here we go. -4 minus 1. 2 minus 2. 6 minus 3. 12 minus -4. All right, number 5, evaluate. All right, what do we do here? We gotta remember all these different procedures. What do we do here? Take the first 2 columns, with 2, -1, 0, and make sure you're keeping things, lined up and organized. And then 1, 1, 0. And it's 1, 1, 1. Yeah, gotta make sure I copy it right. 1, 1, 1. Yep. Now what? Multiply. That's gonna be a 0. Oh, here's gonna be another 0. And then I'm gonna have a -4. So those total up to -4. All right, now we're going this way. That is 0. This is 10. And this is another 0. So what is the answer to the question?
-6.
Whoa, 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 whoa. -4 minus 10 is -14. We subtract. All right, here comes our vocabulary. What is A sub 1, 2? 4. First row, second column, that's 4. What are the dimensions of A? 4 by 2. In the expression 3A, 3 is called a scalar, S-C-A-L-A-R, that's a scalar. Is A square?
No.
Why not? Is there a reason you didn't take your photo?
This was like,
Did you tell me that?
no, I forgot. That's my fault. Can I leave, please?
At 3? So is A squared? No, why not? Because it has 4 rows and only 2 columns. And what is a square matrix? It has the same number of both. Right. Define matrix, that one's in your notes. You'll look that up and learn it. By the way, it's been on both practice tests. What is an entry and an element? Those are the numbers inside the matrix. All right. Now we're gonna make audio players and phones. All right, so here we go. Remember, we're filling in whatever we can fill in. So this one also has a fixed interval. All right, so let's read the problem. It must make a minimum of 600 audio players and a maximum of 1,500 audio players. So what does that tell me? Audio players has to be between 600 and 1,500. So my audio players have to be between 600 and 1,500. Now what about my phones? What do my phones have to be between? 800, should have made this bigger. 800 and 1,700 for my phones. The cost per unit of audio, the cost of audio is 55. The cost of phones is 95. At least 2,000 items must be produced per shift. at least 2,000. So what does that mean? This is 2,000? Now, my fixed intervals are always graphed, so I'm gonna go ahead and put those up here. These are always graphed. And they always make a box, right? What else is going to get graphed? What's that say? X plus y not equals,
Less than.
no? Greater than or equal to 2,000. You gotta read it. What does at least 2,000 mean? If you have to be at least 2,000, can you be less than 2,000? You gotta be greater than 2,000. Right, you gotta read it. If you wanna include the bigger than 0 ones, you can. They're not necessary this time at all, because that's covered here. But if you wanna include them, it doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt anything. What am I doing this problem? What am I looking for? Always a max or min, which is it?
The minimum.
Minimum? And what am I minimizing?
The cost.
The cost. And how will I calculate the cost? 55x plus 95y. And since it's a minimum, when I build all my ordered pairs, however many there are, I will be looking for the lowest one this time. All right, so let's sketch it. What scale do I need? Probably hundreds. So I'll do this one in green. This is my X's. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 right here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1,500 right here. So I graphed my X's. And since those hash marks are like this, I'm just gonna extend the hash marks. Extend your hash mark. And where will that be shaded?
The outside.
No, where is X?
Oh,
X is in between 600 and 1,500. We're shaded in here. Fixed intervals are always in between. It's an interval. Here we go, let's do the Y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. These hash marks go this way. Where is the orange shaded? In between. So I'm between green, I'm between orange, so where am I? In this box right here? Now, on top of that comes my pink. Alright, so, and I need to go 20 and 20. For that one, so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, there's 20, 2,000. And then 18, 19, 20. Oh, Lord, help me. Let's see. That would be 6. Trying to figure out this. figure out where this crosses. 600, that would be. Does that look at all like yours? You have a better grid than I do. Does that look what you got? Is that what you got? And I'm above the pink. So I am inside the box, which is right here, but I am above the pink. So I think I am bounded here. So what are my points? Well, again, remember, if you are on this green line, what do we automatically know? If you're on this green line right here, X is 600. Okay? Now, this point, besides being on the green, is also on the pink. And what do we know about the pinks? The pinks add up to 2,000. So if we know that's 6, doesn't this have to be 1,400? Now up here, this one's even easier, because this one's on the orange. So what do we know about the orange? That's 1,700 for the Y, including this one, 1,700 for the Y. Right? But it's also, that one is also on this green one, which is 1,500. And this green one is 1,500. But it's on this orange one. So Y is 800. Here and here. See what I'm doing, guys? Using my vertical and horizontal lines. Figure out X's and Y's. Now, if you're on pink, that's on pink, you gotta add up to 2,000. So if that's 8, this has to be 12. So here they are. We got 5 points. 600. 1,700, 1,500, 1,700, 1,500, 800, 1,200, 1,200, 800, 600. Okay, what are we gonna do? We got 5 points again. What are we gonna do with those? Plug them into that. These are going to be big numbers. Anybody got any of the rest of them? Anybody got the top one? You got what? 194 500, maybe 194,500. All right, anybody got this one?
244,000.
What?
244,000.
244,000? Okay, that's not our winner. Because remember, what are we trying to do this time? Minimize. All right, what's this one?
158,500.
158.5. So, you're minimizing cost, those are the costs. So it looks like you're gonna tell this guy to do what? He should make, what? He should make 1,200 audio players and 800 phones for a cost of $142,000. Everybody got that? Okay. So, oh yeah, thank you. Okay, so are we good with that answer, folks? All right, so tomorrow we will finish, this practice has one more problem to do. We'll crank out the other one, I don't see tomorrow, and Wednesday. We'll crank out the other one, and then Thursday is our chapter 7 test. Okay? Thursday, chapter 7 test. We have office hours on Wednesday, so if you want to study a little ahead of time,